he came from Dubuque, probably stayed there 6 months while he built the church, and then left. He had to do that. He couldn't go back and forth to home every night as we would today. So this is the most traditional church. In another 100 years, it'll be just a treasure because there won't be many of these traditional churches around. They'll all be new, you know, rounded and modern in their construction, where this is the way they built churches 100, 200, 300 years ago. So this church was given to us by the parish. We now own it. We just got put on the National Registry, which means we can do better with grants. And we need probably $2 million to fix this church up pretty well. You'll notice as you walk around, there are leaks. The electrical needs to be redone, roof, lots of things. We could get away with $200,000 or $300,000 right now just for the woods we made. So preservation and restoration is very expensive, but the main thing is that we keep this. Don't get it torn down because you can't ever replace these kind of places. We've got about 60 people. We'd like to have some of you join and be members, because someday we're all going to be gone, and when we get to 100 years, it's going to be a totally different set of people doing this. So I tell all our people that work, they want to do everything, carpet today and the windows tomorrow, and they want to do it now. Well, you can't. I said, the next group will do some things too. We have to make some things for them. Mary Ellen, here's some money. We give money little by little. Two of our favorite ways are when people die, they give us memorials, like instead of, some charity they give it to us. Also, we have another new business, genealogy. When you go in the back, that's the Winter Chapel back there. That's where they have Mass. All these big churches in Europe have a chapel, and they have their daily Mass in the chapel. They didn't want to heat these places. This takes $1,000 a month to heat, so we don't heat it just a little bit, but we heat back where we do our work. Where do I want to carry on? There's a lot of money. So we get a little money all the time when people come, and we just appreciate anybody coming. We're open every Tuesday morning from 9 to noon. We're going to probably open on Saturday too, coming up, and people come in and they love to work around. Even people who aren't Catholics come. This is a good spot. We didn't know this would happen. That people who aren't Catholics would come and they feel free to ask you questions. What about the confession? Are you still doing confession? How many sins do you have? In my day, when I was a little kid, you had to go in, you had to practice for hours and listen to all my music really down. Then you go in there and you be scared. He was going everywhere. Boy, he really had it done. He was reading it off the card right there in the center. So look into the two doors. Look into anything you want to. Somebody needs to turn on a new organ upstairs and go play a little bit. Feel free to do that. We're going to have Fran and I play a little bit. The original organ, the big one, does not play. It will take us about $30,000 to $50,000 to fix it well enough so it can play. It's supposed to be great acoustics in here. We've had singing groups in here, bands. We have programs like that, and if you see them come, they're kind of fun to be with us. And be sure you want. We can't let you go up in the belfries. That'd be fun someday, maybe, because we can't get the doors open because the guano from the birds is so heavy on the doors we can't go up into the tourists. There's 3 levels. Someday, my dream would be to have a lookout so you can go
Is it Prince of Peace High School or
Prince of Peace Catholic
School.
Prince of Peace Catholic School? Okay.
Senora! We need
Senora,
a
get
teacher
out here!
representative.
Senora!
All right.
What are we saying?
On 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Quad Cities!
My eyes are
I feel like that was really
Yeah. We're going to just have you line up. We'll go down the line and everyone can do their own.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe over here, because I don't think it does. You want to do it without the statue behind them, Kevin? Or what do you
Get back so I know what to say.
We should not do this.
Can we go in groups,
Yeah, can we do like
Maybe if we
groups
get the
of
church
two?
in the background.
Are you guys scared to say?
Mike, is this the
Style interview.
To go ahead and spell your full name for us, first of all. And
Yeah.
you're a student at Prince of Peace, and you went to church here as a young man? Or?
For a little while, but mainly at St. Arnaz, but every once in a while we come here.
Okay, can you spell your name for me?
Konnorlemke.
Lemke. Okay. Why do you think it's so important to preserve a church like this? And what memories do you have when you walked in here today?
Oh gosh. A church like this just has so many memories with it. First off, being built so long ago, I think it's important that as we get farther and farther into the future to keep this old history around, especially with such amazing architecture in this place. I think it's beautiful.
Are there other things about this museum that have impressed you? Was today your first look at this museum?
Since it became a museum,
Yeah,
yes.
what are your thoughts about what they've been able to preserve and find?
Everything looks just about the same as when I used to go here 10, 15 years ago when I was a little kid, but other than a lot more information, tells you a lot more about what there is, a lot of the history.
But it's a throwback, and I think an indication of the roots of the Catholic Church. I mean, the vestments, the chalices, the old confession. Is there a charm about St. Boniface that maybe we don't find in other churches today?
I think it's a German church, and they were real. The charm of it, I would say, is probably the architecture and the garments were somewhat different. Chalices were somewhat different, all designed differently with different countries that the churches came from.
Are you happy about the fact, Connor, last question, that this stuff has been saved and didn't get lost in the rubble when other churches up here were bulldozed? Is it important to know where your roots are as far as Catholicism?
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely very important because not a lot of these churches are around anymore. A lot of people figure just tear them down. When they get old, you don't need them anymore, but this is the kind of stuff that's really important to keep for our roots and really touches base with our Catholic heritage. But
in days when there were a lot more ordained priests
Yes.
than what we have now, do you worry about the future of the Catholic Church and the shortage of priests and that sort of thing?
I know God bestows a lot of faith in all of his people, and if it really comes to being a problem, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have the courage to step up and take part in God's mission.
Thank you so much. Thanks very much for taking.
Built, put in after the church was
And this, obviously, Mass was with the priest with his back to the people for many years. And this just opens the door.
Right. When I served that,
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
then benediction, you have the monstrance.
Right.
We really should have a monstrance, or we have.
And what are these curtains?
Those are for the
I just saw those go up.
One of the girls just asked me about it.
Okay.
And she went back there and found the rope and pulled the rope and up in the slide, and that's where the relics were. They're all gone. We had probably, 30, 50 relics in this. People,
There's the flag.
yeah, Father Fritz went to Europe. Oh yeah,
Okay.
we'll all be out there.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this interview with you, Gary, so we can get moving here. Sure, that's fine.
Thank you, William. Take care. Hey, good luck in the church.
This is a teaching education.
I mean, you're essentially converting the church into a classroom. Those kids should have gotten a pretty good education.
They were good. They were asking questions.
Yeah. Is this the first class of students you've had come through?
We're not that big. Not that old, man.
Oh,
So glad they brought the older children.
we need you to put this on here. If you want to slip the cord underneath your sweater, and then I think the other part of it will fit in your pocket. Much of what we're looking at here is and altar and statues and some of the other things that are collected parishes. Is this okay?
You all right? Hear me?
Gary, would you be nice enough to go ahead and spell your full name for us first? You can look at it.
Gary, G-A-R-Y. Heritage, H-E-R-R-I-T-Y. I'm the chairman of the Catholic Historical Society.
Well, let me just ask you first of all, this absolutely beautiful looking altar. What impresses you so much?
Well, the lighting, Father Tritz that built the building as the priest of until 1937, his plaque is over there. He loved electric lighting. He had the idea of the altar. It wasn't in the original church, but it was planned. And a few years after they opened his church in 1908, put this altar specially built for this church. And this church is really a beautiful, original, traditional Catholic church, which in 100 years will be a perfect, beautiful relic because there won't be that many around.
What about some of the other things that we look at here? I mean, I'm looking at I'm assuming the original stations of the cross, the stained glass windows. The pulpit is very, very interesting. You walked up steps to get to. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, many churches had the idea of having higher. You walked up steps to get into the church. You looked up at the priest in the pulpit. That pulpit is very, very old, back to the 1860s. And in fact, it wasn't used for about 30 years, but when we closed the church 3 years ago, Bishop Amos was going to do his sermon from the little lectern there, and he looked over and he went up there, right up to the top, and gave a beautiful closing sermon. It's a sad thing to close the churches, but preserving them is our mission.
You've got vestments here.
100 years old, banners. They used to have parades of banners, and we have these banners of Sodality, Knights of Columbus. Everybody had their group in the church. It wasn't just you belonged to a church, you also belonged to two or three sub-clubs or groups.
Yeah, original pews, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, original pews. We took just a couple of things out of this and put it in the new church. The corpus from the Winter Chapel out back is in the new church. And there's something from each new church, from the old church in the new church. And we have all the relics from all the 5 churches that were closed here. And other things too, Mount St. Clair, Our Lady of Angels Academy.
Yeah, let me just ask you a couple of other questions. What have you been able to recover from some of the other churches? I mean, I saw chalices, I've seen surplices, cassocks, pictures of priests who served in these parishes. What do you want people to walk away with from a place like this?
Well, the remembrances of the people and the churches, at a time 100 years ago when the 5 churches were packed for all 5 masses. They had 3 priests. It was a different era. Just a wonderful set of values that they passed on to us. And the things that we have here help to remind us of those. The things are not maybe as important as the memories.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you a question about the National Register of Historic Places status. Tell me,
Just this week.
Just this week. What What is the significance of that in terms of what you're trying to do?
Well, it's going to be massive for our fundraising efforts because we are now an independent group. We have some linkages with the parish, but we own this, our board. We're lucky to have 60 people.
But what's the significance of that kind of status? Does it mean that this church can't be bulldozed?
Oh, no, probably not, but it helps in that realm of preservation. People like to go to places that are on the National Registry, and then for grants, funds, this really helps. And it just gives you a position of honor. Mike Carney was standing right here and helped a lot on that. Mary Ellen Eichenberg, who was a historian around town, she prepared the work, so it went through very, very quickly.
And the architect, Mike was telling me, is the same architect who built the basilica, or at least the plans for the basilica, in Dyersville. Who was the architect? And talk to us a little bit about the Gothic architecture.
Well, of course, Antoine Zwack was German. He's from Dubuque, and this was his architecture of the Gothic, of the old medieval European churches. So it has that flavor of old churches, not your new modern type of church that we so often see. So this is something that people will really want to remember. He was a great builder. He worked for about 60, 70 years, and this is at a time when he didn't have trucks and so on. So when he came to a town to build a church, he stayed for 6 months or so and built the place. And
how long did it take to build this?
About 6 months or more. And he was here the entire time. He didn't go back every night to Dubuque to see his wife and children. And this was kind of a vocation of his. He built about 200, 300 structures around the Midwest, schools, churches primarily, public buildings, and boy, are they solid. That's why we chose this church, because it was the best of the 5, most well-preserved, not a crack in the foundation, exquisite. A lot of the students from Prince of Peace went to the basement to see all the abutments of how Antoine Zwack poured that cement and built this solid church.
Last quick question, Mike.
Just one clarification. Wasn't Antoine Zwack the builder and Martin Hare the architect?
Well, right, yeah. I suppose Antoine Zwack could build them from memory, but he had a very good architect in back of him.
Yeah. Last quick question. Do you get goosebumps when you come into a place like this? I mean, I'm assuming you were an altar boy.
Oh, yeah.
You remember when the Mass was in Latin. Oh, sure. You remember when priests that were being ordained were maybe in classes of hundreds as opposed, we probably don't have 100 priests in the diocese now, but in a graduating class. What memories does Catholicism and Clinton evoke for you, and why is it so important in this community?
Well, the values we have today were given to us by all that system. You know, it had its flaws, obviously, but it really provided a rock-solid basis for all of our beliefs and the way we carry on. We've got to preserve that and try to give that to, like these students that were here from high school. You can tell they've got those kind of values too, so it'll be carried on. We just need to get some of them to belong here, and they will. People always worry, our people say, well, we're getting old, and who's going to take over for us? Well, other people get old. And then suddenly, they get into genealogy and history. They'll be here.
Good. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
This.
Okay, give us a good one.
Something along those lines.
Okay.
You ready for my sermon? Yes. Go Hawks. I wonder if we can get the shot of the beauty of, you know, the carvings.
Don't take that.
A wood pulpit, Mike, with steps. That's pretty much what we're talking about, right?
I beg your pardon?
A wood pulpit with steps.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, wait just a second.
St. Boniface Church was built in 1908. And check out the pulpit. They certainly don't build them like this anymore. That work okay?
Yeah.
Okay. One take.
That's because you guys are good.